Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this amazing episode of the Digital Dialogues. Today, we are going to speak about everything data. And to do this, I have with me in conversation Mr. Vijay Devnath, who is the Chief Information Security Officer at the Center for Railway Information Systems. Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Vijay.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, everything data. We've seen the data is developing as the new oil and the new soil to power business outcomes that organizations are looking for. And with that comes the huge data layers that we are all dealing with. So my first question to you today is that, what organizations are dealing with the kind of volume of data that actually comes in through various channels and sources. What exactly are the strategies that are required to manage that?
Yeah, very good question and a very pertinent question as of today, because in the last decade, the volume of data has increased, its importance has increased, and we are generating and collecting more and more data every day. But in this journey of data collection, analytics, and then delivery of results out of that data, we have somewhere lost our way how to manage this data, because data is of many types. When we say data is oil, it is oil of different kinds. One is that we need to segregate this data between what is currently required and what is required for posterity. That means report generation, etc. So something has to go into archive, something has to remain in the current databases to continue the business. Then we have to segregate further this data among data which is public, data which is only for internal users, and data for the management, for the dashboards and things like that. This part of the data management is right now quite fluid. Our organization, and maybe in all organizations it is like that. This is, I think, called in technical terms data management maturity. That maturity is never achieved, but it's a continuous process of learning about the data, what is useful, what is not useful, what is to be kept for posterity, what is to be kept for now, and what is to be discarded of. There is a lot of data which we collect that needs to be discarded after its use. Sometimes it has to be discarded right away when this data is coming from channels like social media and all that, where you have to take out the essence from the chaotic to and fro going on between people and between users and the providers, and in between so many other channels. So basically, data management involves only few things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
The category, the priority, the use, and the difference between what is supposed to be kept public and what is supposed to be kept private.
That's like 1 billion and one to works when you're actually putting all the cogs in place to create that level playing field in terms of, the data operation side. And let's assume in this entire level playing field, or not just assume, but we know that the curveball that is coming is the compliance bit. So how do you manage the curveball?
I will say, fortunately, Railways, my organization, parent organization, is a self-regulator. It doesn't have a regulator like IDI for banking sector or SEBI for the capital markets. So, being a monopoly, we have to regulate ourselves to keep ourselves in compliance. Yes, for compliance related to data management particularly and data protection management, we take guidance from the national bodies like MATI, the security guidelines from CERT in. Then there is a NCIPC who gives us some guidelines regarding to the critical information infrastructure. I mean, the core scientific for which, like train running and, for safety and all. So, because these days data is all pervasive. Every system is generating data, whether it is IoT data, whether it is IT data, whether it is customer data or internal human resource data. So, each has its own compliance requirements. There are tools available. Many vendors are there who can provide me with all kinds of tools. But the understanding of the data and the applicability of the tool in that particular environment has to come from it. So we have to be always aware that I need to remain compliant to the existing laws, not keep talking about the new law also, privacy and not DCA. But even today, we need to be compliant and guard against unwanted leakages of data. I sometimes take a view that data privacy of individuals, which includes my passengers, customers also, is practically dead because we are so used to giving our personal data all across the spectrum. But somehow or the other, when our public data gets published somewhere, leaked somewhere, so-called in inverted commas, then there is a huge amount of human pride. No amount of our justifying that this data was already known to everyone all the time. It doesn't help us in way. So, because the awareness about data availability and privacy is very low in our general public. Some experts understand this and they support our view that this data which we are giving to our partners, that is to facilitate the passengers and customers only. It is not that we are just leaking that data. This kind of compliance requirements are sometimes very difficult to explain to our government agency that this was done for this purpose, not for the sake of giving out data to other.
Absolutely, and must be challenging. It is a kind of footprint that you have across the entire nation. Having spoken about compliance, how do you stay proactive in terms of identifying potential risks and vulnerabilities with these guys?
Right now, we follow the threat intelligence which is given by central agency, SARDIN, NCIPC, and NSCS, National Cyber Security Coordinator Office, and sometimes from the law enforcement agencies. We get all this threat intel, sometimes timely, sometimes slightly delayed, sometimes even duplicated. And the same thing is being monitored by so many agencies. So we write down limit up to that. Given the expanse, which you rightly pointed out, that the size and the amount of data flowing, there's not only volume, it is the velocity of the data coming in and going out and even discarded archive. It is very difficult for us to go into the realm of threat hunting or threat what should I say, identifying threats which might come to us also, to our infrastructure also. We try to be in the realm of minimum possible exposure, minimum possible intent, so that we are able to manage it within our existing resources. Because we also suffer with government assigning manpower and all that, where resources are slightly difficult to train and get to work. Outsourcing all these work doesn't happen or doesn't work all the time, because our environment is typical in India, being a monopoly. So the making them understand our environment and our problems is also a difficult. Have the outsource partners. This is also a problem. We are now trying to move forward in identifying proactively some vulnerabilities which might come to us, but saying going beyond the standard intelligence provided by the intelligence. So it's is a work in progress. We are trying to put certain people process technologies which can enable us to get this intelligence before time actively, so that we are able to attend to them before they actually go.
And that's a brilliant insight on the proactive strategies. And of course, when it comes to security, like we have the proactive strategies on one side, we also have certain defense strategies. And in event of a breach, what are the kind of defense strategies that organizations can put forward to actually facilitate business continuity?
Now, in this topic of business continuity and data protection mixed together, what I follow or what my recommendations are that I will tell you is that the data categorization, data segregation, data prioritization. After that, you try to protect the data which is very critical to continue your business, keep running, which means things like master data of your business, the configuration data of all your devices, users, their roles, etc. These things should be protected first. Maybe now, given the current threat of ransomware, or in an immutable backup system. There are so many vendors, they know better how to do that. But my recommendation will be get something to protect that kind of data safely, which can be recovered. This thing we sometimes forget in our day-to-day life, that keeping backup and putting it somewhere doesn't mean basically. That backup should be current as per your RTO, and it should be recoverable. If tape is not readable, or if data is not retrievable because somebody has forgotten his password, the backup encryption password, or that person is right now indisposed, then you have it. So this is not a simple technological challenge where only vendors will give you. It is a PPT challenge. The processes of taking the backups or incremental backups or which data to be backed up have to be strictly defined. No violations of that. And if violation happened, it has to be fixed ASAP. And there has to be a term I used always, DMC, visibility, monitoring, and control. So first, all these backups should be visible, what data is being backed up. There should be monitoring that it has been backed up properly and in a retrievable fashion. And third point, control comes when something goes wrong in this chain, which is happening daily or sometimes in some of our database, every hour the incremental backups. So it's a very vast and complex topic for PCP. Just making available data backward, the retrieving the data in the databases may not enable your BC.
Right.
The users who are sitting there with their roles and all that, they have to be also enabled back on the same restored data. It should not happen that after restoration, some people have such high privileges that they are going to damage our BCP itself. Because not every user is as IT savvy as the IT department or the security department itself. So we have to be very careful in ensuring this BCP. When you come back from a disaster or you are falling over to a disaster recovery site, that all your security, your data categorization, or your data prioritization, PPT, is also available on the other side where you are falling back. We have a tendency that we put our backup strategies or TDR onto some other agency like cloud or another site across India. But after that, we forget that the people, the process and the technologies have to be synced with primary and secondary so that the recovery is possible and it is smooth as was before. Because board is, any board is least concerned about what technology you have put, what data categorization you have done. The business stoppage, even temporarily, is a huge incident for them, irrespective of whether the security or non-security or of any kind, physical and research.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that assertion. Well, so we've actually discovered, ladies and gentlemen, that it is the people, processes and technology working in tandem with each other that can actually facilitate the kind of continuity plans and build in the resilience that businesses require in the face of any kind of breach that could possibly come in from outside. What also is important is at the same time remaining compliant, whether it is self-compliant or compliant with external regulatory bodies. And of course, categorizing data and having the right kind of data sources all flow the kind of volume of data that you would require to power business out. Brilliant conversation. Thank you very much. This was very enough for that excellent conversation. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to sign off from this episode of the Digital Dialogues. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on the upcoming.
Thank you.